Hello, my viewers and subscribers. Welcome to another episode of Jamaica Politics Uncovered. So, guys, in this episode, I am basically going to tell you and show you why Mark Golding not only should and be forced out to leave the parliament and to leave our politics, as he's currently a national security threat. Not only should he leave, but Mark Golding should be charged. He must also be investigated by the General Legal Counsel. I am going to give you many examples, and I'm going to show you many examples of our law and how it works when people omit information. Not only omit information in Mark Golding's case, but benefiting financially and also politically because of that omission of information. So as we know, Mark Golding came into politics in 2007. He was a British citizen at that time. All the way up until now, Jamaicans are just finding out as he's seeking to lead the country with that dual citizenship. Mark Golding has occupied our Senate. He was promoted to Justice Minister. He was promoted to Member of Parliament. He was promoted to leader of the opposition and president of one of our major political parties. He's been collecting salaries, making laws, having information and state secrets. And he's now 1 year away from the Prime Minister job of Jamaica in a general election. And hesitating, being reluctant and refusing to renounce that dual citizenship and his loyalty and commitment to the United Kingdom. He has not acknowledged his deception from 2007 all the way up until today. So we have some questions that we should be asking the PNP and be asking of Mark Golding, as well as the integrity and prosecutorial bodies in Jamaica. So let us ask these questions to Jamaica's former PNP administrative senator, an attorney and justice minister Mark Golding, a sworn officer of the Jamaican legal bar. Number one, did Mark Golding, having sworn by taking the oath of office in 2011 as a senator and justice minister, knowingly committed an act of fraud by knowingly perjured himself, including scamming or withholding of personal information by his own conduct as an act of deception or by omission against the Jamaican state? 2. Why is it that Mark Golding, as an officer of the Jamaican jurisdictional bar, not summoned before that body, the General Legal Counsel, with a view of answering and facing various charges such as unethical professional conduct as an attorney and as an officer of the courts, which by his own actions has brought the legal profession into disrepute? 3. During Golding's tenure as Portfolio Minister of Justice, how many Jamaicans did Mark Golding, in his capacity as Justice Minister for Jamaica, signed off on or authorized extradition warrants to have such individual surrendered to a foreign jurisdiction to face criminal charges and prosecution to such countries like the United States and other countries for illegal criminal conduct of fraud, including scamming, etc. As a reminder, Golding was a justice minister and Bunting held the national security portfolio during the earlier years of the Vibes Cartel alleged criminal investigation, as well as other criminal cases. As Jamaicans, we are demanding more accountability on Mark Golding's conduct, which clearly amounts to be an act of scamming for his own personal self-interest against the Jamaican people when he failed to tell his party and the country that he held dual citizenship as he was promoted to these very important positions in government. Months ago, we heard from the PNP aspirant candidate for the parish of Trelawney, Dennis Meadows, addressing his comrades in constituency meeting, endorsing scamming. We later read published reports that Meadows was forced to step down by the opposition leader Mark Golding for making such public endorsement of the word scamming. Mark Golding now, by his own action, has sworn to protect and defend the Constitution of Jamaica. He has taken the oath time after time. He took the oath when he went into the Senate in 2007. He took the oath each time he was affirmed as a member of Parliament, and as recent as the year 2020. Was Mark Golding being truthful and honest with the Jamaican people in his sworn oath, declaring that he would protect the Jamaica Constitution, which states that you may not have any loyalty to a foreign power or have dual citizenship? Now I have some questions for the Prime Minister of Jamaica, the Right Honourable Andrew Holness. Given what we now know on the current status of the leader of the opposition by his own dual citizenship admission, his Prime Minister Andrew Holness legally and constitutionally obliged by the law to share and divulge Jamaica's national security intelligence secrets with Mark Golding and his shadow cabinet. How is this likely to be viewed by other governments in the Commonwealth and specifically other Caribbean countries in the region and around the globe? Should Andrew Holness and the government parliamentarians take necessary steps to have Mark Golding discontinue to be seated in the House of Parliament as he is unconstitutionally or illegitimate in our House of Parliament, which is in keeping with Jamaica's Constitution? To the Minister of Foreign Affairs and Trade, Kamina Johnson-Smith, and the National Security Minister, Dr. Horace Chang, these questions are for you. Do you think that under the current circumstance, where you all also took oaths to protect Jamaica and her Constitution, do you believe it is time to take the necessary steps and have Mr. Mark Golding immediately surrender the Jamaican diplomatic passport that was issued in his name and possibly to his wife and family members' name, returned and are surrendered in short order? As a matter of procedure, protocol that should be applied and followed when diplomatic passport usage and issuance has ended or expired. In Jamaica, there are consequences for omitting information and benefiting from that omission or deceiving or scamming. We have laws in place. For example, let us look at the Customs Act. According to the Customs Act of Jamaica, we should always respond truthfully to all questions regarding what we are bringing into the country. The rules are, you can only bring a certain amount of money. You cannot bring certain possessions. If we lie about that or omit that information, there's a fine and there's possible jail time. As a result of Mark Golding's omission of information for all those years since 2007 and all the ascendancies to various positions, Mark Golding has collected millions and millions of dollars from tax-paying Jamaicans. What Mark Golding did is a very serious crime and breach of ethics. Here are some similar examples of cases in the media, high-profile cases involving politicians in recent times. You are looking at Donald Trump's former lawyer, Michael Cohen. He fell from grace in 2018 when he was charged for various breaches of the United States law. These breaches included fraud, deception, and evasion. He pled guilty following the filing of 8 counts of criminal information alleging concealment of more than $4 million in unreported income. Guys, when you conceal and you unreport, it's the same thing that Mark Golding did in order to gain financially and politically. When one reports falsely or fails to report in order to gain, it amounts to deception, fraud, unethical behavior, and it is against holding public office. Mark Golding failed to be truthful and to report in order to gain public office and to gain financially. Former U.S. President Donald Trump was just found guilty on 34 counts of deception. Now in Jamaica, the government of Jamaica, Mr. Horace Chang, the National Security Minister of Jamaica, the ball is in your court and in the court of the government. You guys took an oath to protect the Jamaican people. What we have here is a grave national security concern and many ethics and criminal violations. The ball is in your court. There is a scammer in the parliament. Mark Golding must be removed from the parliament immediately. Because if you don't do that and if you don't act, you compromise not just the government, but the entire Jamaica. The world is watching. Mark Golding must be removed from the parliament and various infractions must be filed in the courts in Jamaica against Mark Golding regarding his omission of information to gain financially and politically. To the Prime Minister of Jamaica, Mr. Andrew Holness, you should not be engaging anyone who is sitting in the chair of the opposition leader with loyalty to another country. You are undermining us as a country and undermining what we stand for. Mark Golding should not be in our parliament. PJ Patterson just said so. PJ is a former Prime Minister, current member of the PNP, and he endorsed the presidency of Mark Golding in the People's National Party before he learned of the deception.
But extended. In my time, there were 2 appointments I had to make. The people disclosed to me that they held citizenship of another country. I told them, not putting any pressure on you, you have a choice. Renounce and stay where you are. Or if you want to accept this position because of its sensitivity, you have to renounce. Both without hesitation proceeded to renounce and were duly appointed to their positions. There are some positions that I think have to make it clear that allegiance is to Jamaica alone.
This is also according to the Constitution, where parliamentarians are concerned. You are listening to Jamaica Politics Uncovered. Make sure you're keeping it locked here for your latest political news, reviews, and updates straight out of 876, guys. Make sure you're sharing our content, our channel, and you are inviting your friends to join our live broadcast Monday to Fridays, 8 p.m. U.S. time, 7 p.m. Jamaica time. Take care until next time.